Okay, I'm gonna go through a lot of stuff in this video, mainly according to the new light experience that I have experienced myself. Now, you can take my words as you want, but I will say this, there are gonna be political matters in this video, so if you are not interested in that, it's just a warning ahead. I'm not gonna go into why or what, but I'm gonna bring up political matters. So just know this. But the main factor of this video is gonna be the new light experience, right? So the new light experience have drastically changed over the years. Now I'm gonna show you 3 different accounts that I've played through myself, each from 3 different years of Destiny, and you're gonna see a major changes in loadouts. So let's start off with Shadowkeep, shall we? Because in reality, that's where the first new light experience started. Now, in Shadowkeep, you had a lot of content compared to what you have now, at least for the new light experience, because all of year 1 and the Forsaken annual passes, most of it you could do for free. So let's just say you couldn't actually do forges, like farm them, but you could access forges and get the weapons from them. You could get the Reckoning weapons from Gambit, and you could get Leviathan weapons. Now, if they're good or not nowadays, they're not because all of it is sunset. But you had 3 raid options, 2 short ones, one of them are pretty challenging, and you had a normal sized raid, but all of them had a prestige mode. Prestige mode changed up things. The way I liked it in the year 1 was the raid layers, they had a set loadout you had to use, so you had to run the raid with, let's just say, auto rifle, scout rifle, and a grenade launcher, for example. Like stuff like that, that's something you had to use. If everyone on the team wasn't using it, you just couldn't launch the raid. But you had a lot of stuff. For example, I'm gonna show you my dim on my first alt account that I ever made. And it has a spare ration, it has Mindbender, it has a lot of god rolls, it has some of the seasonal weapons, because that's the time period I played on it. And you can see I'm mostly limited to year 1 stuff only, but I can get everything throughout that year. Nothing is locked behind a paywall, nothing is this or that, I can do everything. But there was also another factor. If you play PvP nowadays and you're a free-to-play account, there's nothing to do. Unless you play Iron Banner. Iron Banner can still drop pretty good weapons. But except for that, there's only Control, Elimination, the Survival playlist, and whatever weekly playlist there is, right? But back in the day, the comp playlist used to have Pinnacle weapons. Now, I know we didn't have trials during this period, but you could still get really good weapons. You had a Recluse to farm for, Revoker, you had Randy's Throwing Knife, Mountaintop, Luna's Howl, Not Forgotten. All was weapons you could farm for throughout the year, and it gave you something to play comp for example. Like, there was a reason. It wasn't just to boost your ego by having max rank, which is not really an ego boost anymore, because if it was challenging, then yeah, people would actually care. But you could get your hands on Outbreak through the original quest, Whisper of the Worm through the original quest, Sleeper Simulant through the quest line. You know, all these weapons had a long quest that you had to do to unlock the gun, which I don't know why Bungie scrapped. Why would they remove a challenging aspect of the game if you didn't have anything to grind for? What the fuck's the point of playing, right? Let's take like Polaris Lands, that had a long quest line, a pretty cool one as well. Overnight, whenever they left Activision, they just decided to stop with it. Activision, I don't know if it's Activision's fault for forcing Bungie to make really cool quests, cool secret missions, cool areas to explore. You know, I don't know if that's their fault, but ever since they left them, they've just completely scrapped stuff like that. Sure, now I know Shadowkeep wasn't within Activision's range, I'm pretty sure, because during year 3, which is Shadowkeep, we had secret missions like Corridors of Time and the Fellwinter's Quest, that's 2, but it's probably the only one. And then year 2, we had Niobe Labs. That was something interesting. But the problem about everything was every gun in the game was obtainable. I know, you're probably asking me, why is that a problem? Because apparently Bungie don't want that to be the case. You can see this with all the weapons they sunset, all the weapons they did this, all the weapons they did that. 90% of the guns in the game are not obtainable. It doesn't matter if they random perks or set perks, they're just not obtainable. And then they give it back to us 2 years later down the line. No one wants this. Okay, activities in year 3 was good for new lights. You could do a lot of stuff. Like there was no barrier to where you really had to stop. But this is not a good way for making players buy the game. Actually, it is, because then you can actually experience the game. Because you could do the Red War campaign, you could do the Curse of Osiris and Warmind campaign. Like those, the Red War campaign was good. No one can say anything about that. The Red War campaign was good. And when you get this intro to the story, and you get this intro to the game, you can do the raids in order, you can do activities that give you actual rewarding stuff. Doesn't that make you want to actually play the game more? Yes, it does. Which is why year 3 was a good year to play on a New Light account. But then you had year 4. Now this is where my stuff starts to change a little. You can see I have guns that you actually have to pay for, like Thorn, Last Word, Dead Man's Tale, Ace of Spades, Hawkmoon. These guns are guns you have to pay for. You can't obtain them without being Forsaken. But I was a lucky man, and Discord gifted me a free subscription to Xbox. And you know what Xbox also did the same year? They gave out free access to the whole game of Destiny 2. Except for the season passes, of course, but you get the point. But this allowed me to do trials and etc, etc. But as you can see I have not forgotten. I bought that with my material. You can see I've done Garden. You can see I've done King's Fall because I played when the season came out. You can see I have adept weapons. I actually have some pretty good rolls on my adept guns as well. But the problem about this is not a New Light experience in reality. But at the same time it is. Now, I could make this into my main account overnight and not worry, because I basically have everything. I have fully masterwork gear on all my characters. I have done plenty of GMs this season I played a lot, aka Season of the Splicer. But the problem about all of this, right? Bungie doesn't want us to play like this, because, I mean, in reality is, whenever I lost my access to my Xbox Battle Pass, I couldn't even use Stasis, even though I had it unlocked. Listen to that. If you move from Xbox to PC, for example, you can't use Stasis because you don't own Beyond Light. Isn't that pretty stupid? You have unlocked it, but you can't use it. And as a whole, the New Light intro is a joke. You go through the quest steps, you talk to the guys in tower, it's just an absolute joke and a mess. You don't really get a grasp of what's going on, there's no real intro to a story character. You can do all the intro quests for all the characters, you don't have a real story to do, and in reality it's just awful. Not just that, ever since they made this game free to play, they've been pushing a lot of stuff. Let's just say you log on one day and you suddenly say the trans awareness code pop up on your screen. Hey, get this emblem. What's the reason? Oh, it's Trans Awareness Weekend or whatever. I'm not actually influenced by this. I don't pay attention to Twitter. I don't pay attention to Bungie's agendas. I'm not interested in political matters. But it just keeps going. Because most people, in reality, right, when you log on, you don't give a shit about what the political matter is for the month, right? If it's Pride Month, do you really care about that when you play a game like Destiny? No. I've seen a lot of people teabag people with BLM emblems just because they don't like people pushing the agenda around. You know, I don't care what your political ground is on things. I just don't want it in my video game, in my everyday life. It's just nothing I care about. And I think a lot of people think like this. I mean, I would expect so, because people are getting upset about this shit nowadays. And for good reason. I'm not getting home to get 50 ads on, hey, you should buy the Pride pin, you should buy the BLM pin, you should buy the woman's pin. Alright, don't be mad for me saying this, but where's the white pin, Just saying. Just saying. I'm joking. My newest alt has a lot of different stuff, as you can see. 5 guns, 5 exotics, and 5 armor pieces. No, the reality is there's just nothing to do on a new alt account. Mainly because there's just nothing to do. You log on, you get to max power, you can't play any activities except for Nightfalls, King's Fall, and Vogue, and Prophecy. I think that's all the endgame content you can do. GMs are just unnecessarily high power for no reason, and you're never going to be able to access that if you're a New Light account, or unless you play every single day, but there's just not enough content to fill that void. PvP, there's nothing to farm for. Trials is gone. Unless Iron Banner's in town, there's just nothing to do. And yeah, basically there's nothing to do on a New Light account. Just, if you're gonna get into Destiny, you have to buy everything. Hated to break it to you, but Bungie doesn't want people to play on free-to-play accounts. You don't have access to any of the seasonal story, any of the seasonal content, any of the storylines, anything story-related. You don't have access to it. As long as it isn't... I guess you can have access to the opulence weapons, but that's literally it. And yeah, that's the New Light experience in a nutshell. Get fucked, bozo. Nah, in reality is, I just want to make sure that that statement I made earlier, I don't have any problem with any people or whatsoever. I don't care if you're trans, black, white, fucking Asian, I don't care. Anything works. I'm a rainbow guy. But in reality is, if your guys' opinion on this matter is different than mine, then please let me know. And if you're a Bungie dev, I would love to know what you're smoking. See, I'm not doing this for the movie of the week emblem. I don't give a shit about that. But if I got it, that would be pretty cool. And the other part is just to prove my point that there's nothing to do in the game, especially for New Light players. You guys have just chopped off more and more of the game. It's very sad to see. Abilities just make the game way too stupid, and most people who are playing are not your average 50-year-old. Like, that's just reality of it. Like, we're not getting on to play 10 minutes a day. Like, apparently you guys think we will. We are fucking fanatics at consuming content. We need more stuff to get. Always a new grind, always a new thing. That's just how we operate. If there's a gun that's hard to get and really good, we are gonna get it, and we're not stopping until we get it. That's why we love secret missions. That's why we love long and stupid exotic quests. Like, just give it to us back. That's what we want. No one's stopping you. But yeah, if you're actual Bungie dev, please, I want to hear from your side. Like, what has been going on, really? Because something has changed drastically, and it's not a good change. Let's just say it like that. Either it's a new director or something, but I don't know. Times were better under Luke Smith. What can I say? But anyway, I hope Lightfall is good. I hope all the stuff you implement is going to be good for the game. Make it easier for new players to play. Make it easier for old players to have fun. And yeah, I love you guys. I don't care who you are. I just love you, and join my Discord. I would appreciate that. Come and hang out with us. We're probably active in the voice chat all the time, so you can just pull up. Alright, I'll see you around.